Every morning, I come downstairs to make myself a cup of tea, and in my bleary-eyed state, I am confronted with the world's most annoying game of chance. And I can guarantee you, every time, I pick the tea bags last. Well, enough is enough. I can't take any more, and I now have something which I think will end my bad luck forever. Back in the summer, as I was struggling with not being able to sew anymore, I bought myself something which I thought might help with my making, which is a Cricut machine. So if you don't know, a Cricut machine is a digital cutting machine that really accurately cuts shapes in paper, cardboard, vinyl, but also wood and fabric, which was why I bought this one. Now, I did film an unboxing when this arrived, but it arrived in one of the many heat waves we had this summer, and the heat played havoc with my health, and as a result, the video wasn't very good. I left the blinds open, so I had stripy lines all over my face, and I didn't have my new external microphone on my camera, so Woody was helping me to film, but I had the clip-on microphone, so I'm talking to him and you can't hear anything he's saying in response. So I kind of gave up on that video and also on using the Cricut, but not anymore. I've done a few paper projects making birthday cards for friends and family, but it's time to step things up and actually make a vinyl project that will hopefully end my game of teabag roulette once and for all. I'm not very familiar with the Cricut design space. I paid the fee currently. You can have like a paid version where you pay a monthly subscription and you get more features. And I'm currently paying for that because I don't know what I'm doing. I think in future I wouldn't pay for it and I would just learn, but it's been good for sort of experimenting with it as I work out what I want to use my Cricut for. Anyway, so I found a load of graphics in the Cricut design space. One is like a teapot, one's a coffee cup, and one's a sugar pot. And so now I just need to figure out how big I want them, because I also want to have the text. I want it to say tea, coffee, sugar, but I also want there to be a visual reference logo. Too brain foggy for that sometimes. So I kind of think really it's got to be above the swan logo, hasn't it? It's got to sort of be centered here. So that means I've only got a maximum of 3 inches height-wise to play with, including the text. 3 inches wide, so no more than 3 inches square. And the reason I'm using this is because I'm not an inches brain person, and my Cricut design space is currently set to inches because of some of the quilting projects I've been using for, and quilters work in inches. So a maximum of 3 inches wide. And then that gives me an inch maximum space for text. So I have decided on a font. I've got a layout. We will put a screenshot here, seeing as I can't do the screen record thing. Now my issue is, I was sure I had white vinyl. Turns out I do not have white vinyl. I have plenty of black, but apart from that, our colour options are red, blue or green. Or yellow or orange. Now the kitchen is blue, so I feel like blue wouldn't be too bad. I just don't feel like you're going to see it very well. Green is hideous. Orange or red? Oh, I think I might have to put a pause on this project while I order some white vinyl. I mean, Cricut are forever emailing me to tell me that there's a sale. A shot in my house with nice lighting. I have this scrap of green, which came with when I bought the machine. So I think I'm just going to do a sort of a test cut just to check that I like this. Now this is the smart vinyl, so I don't have to have a mat. I just can shove it right in the machine and press go. So we'll see. Yes, I am a messy person. Ignore everything else. Right. Oh. Is that going to straighten out? So these, I had to move these into the middle for a different project. They're bloody difficult to move, so I don't think that's going to happen. Let's try again. Why does that keep flashing? So I've put it on the mat because I get the feeling it has to be a minimum of 6 inches, and it's just shy of 6 inches where I've chopped it off. So let's see if this works. It's possibly going to go really badly. Yeah. can kind of see it there.
So this was the first attempt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to weed this one so I can kind of see the design and like maybe check its scale. And also then I can show it to Woody, double check with him that he's happy with it, because technically they're his coffee pots. So this is the only thing about this vinyl making with Cricut that I find really hard, is the waste. Like, look at that, there's something so cool about that. And what am I going to do with it? I think given how new I am to using the Cricut, I think it is a good idea for me to do like a practice one, just so that I kind of get used to it. You know how I often say never film the first attempt? Well, yeah, with this almost I feel like don't use the first attempt. Do a practice one. Whew. I feel like I'm holding my breath while I do this. Because it's a line drawing. I'm getting rid of the insides. Like this. And then that bit there. And then this big bit. Yeah. And then we're leaving that section, taking out that section and taking out the little bit of latte art. Ooh. Oh, that was satisfying. And then this section of the handle. And that section of the handle. Oh my god! They're cute! I love them! Okay, right, let me get the pot. So, can you imagine? Like, I think the scale of that would be okay. It's big enough, right? It's just the green. Yeah, in white, I think we're onto a winner. I think we're onto a winner. Well, doesn't that feel Christmassy? Do you think I have enough layers on? It's a very strange outfit, I know, but I'm warm. Funnily enough though, this has given me an idea of something else I can make on my Cricut. So you often hear me mention the lighting being an issue in my videos when I'm filming here at Woody's. The cottage is set up so it's open plan, and so the light sort of comes from every direction, and that means I'm often fighting like this sort of situation where suddenly there's like a puddle of light behind me as well as the wall lights. If I turn the wall lights off, it's too dark. If I shut all the curtains, it's too dark. It's kind of a bit of a nightmare for me. And so I bought this privacy film. And my plan was to put it on the windows so that I can have the blinds and the curtains open and I would get sort of like nice, soft, diffused light. Anyway, have I stuck it up? No. Is it much too narrow for the windows? Yes. Do I have the energy to faff about with this? No. So what I thought I would do instead is use it to make some decorative like window decals. And obviously sort of frosty window panes. Snowflakes would be a great option. I also have this holographic vinyl, which I think could be quite cool, although of course this is not removable, I don't think, so I would have to put this on this. I'm sure somebody else in the Cricut creative community has come up with something like this before, so I'm going to have a look and see what I can find to make on the Cricut. I don't know whether I'm actually going to cut them today. I don't think I have the energy for that. It's just too cold. All I want to do is curl up under the sofa and carry on with my Tunisian crochet under my electric blanket. Lovely and snug. Sorry to spoil the movie magic for you there, but yeah, I'm working on 2 projects at once. What a surprise. Okay, so I've got my first bit of window cling in here. I've had to absolutely butcher it. I don't know if you can see. I just had to trim it with scissors. I was hoping I could cut it
nicely, and then maybe I could have like a square, but it's too wide to fit in my my vinyl cutter. So this is just attempt number 1, and as you know, I never normally film the first attempt, but I don't know if I've selected the right settings or not, so it's a real kind of just test run. So let's see. Let's push the flashing button. See what happens. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with. That took 5 minutes, by the way.
So it came off the mat fine, and I've got to peel off the backing. Ooh, okay. Now we're cooking. Oh, I'm going to be here forever. But it looks like it's worked. So the settings were fine. Maybe I should have just started with an easier one. Let's try the candy cane. Oh, of course, it's got loads of cutout sections. Have they cut out? Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So here it is. But I've got to also detach all the little bits. Oh my god, these are going to be so cute! Oh, I should say, there were loads of these. There were loads of this kind of stuff on the Cricut community projects, design projects, whatever it's called, I can't remember. So I haven't done any designing, as it were, I just found one. This one was by AB Crafty. There you go. If you want to find it for yourself. But you can kind of see where I'm going with this, right? Oh my goodness, that was a nightmare. Oh, and they're falling off now. I've done them all. I think I might need to turn the pressure up because I was literally having to like pull all the tiny wee little bits out. So I've got the bits everywhere now. Let's see if I can hold this up and whether they'll all stay on. It's worth it though, but that took me like a good 35 minutes at least. On its own, this worked and I've got a result that I'm happy with, but I do want to try a multi-layered version, partly just because I've never done that yet with the Cricut, and I think if I am going to do it, possibly a good idea to do it with this because of the transparent nature of it. Might make it easier to line up. Saying that out loud, I've just realised that of course the vinyl would have to, the non-transparent vinyl is going to have to be lined up with the transparent thing underneath, so it might not help at all. But let's design a few and we'll see how they turn out. How's that? I kept things very simple. I found some images in the Cricut database, one for a Christmas tree and one for a snowflake, and added holographic stars to the tree and used the offset tool to create the window cling backing for my vinyl snowflake. I loaded the window cling into the Cricut machine on my larger mat, not realising the Cricut had decided to cut the holographic vinyl first. Oh shit! It's the wrong thing. I noticed just in time to save wasting my materials. Okay, I think I've saved it by turning this mat around so that the bit where it started at the top is now at the bottom, and hopefully nothing will intersect. Let's have a look. Yeah, all okay, all okay. I could then load the vinyl in for cutting. I double checked before I pressed go this time. Okay. A new day. The white vinyl has arrived, and I have my holographic and my window cling to do my 2-layered design. However, you know how I turned up the pressure? It's cut all the way through both layers. And also, stupidly, I realised as I was setting this up that I put this on the cutting mat with the wrong side down, which means that all the careful, like, I added these triangles that would be like as a registration guide so I could line everything up. Wrong way. They'll be on the wrong side. So I'm just going to have to eyeball it anyway. We'll just start, I reckon, we'll do the hard ones first, the snowflakes first. So I'm just going to tear them out with the backing on. What's with this one? Why is this one not as easy to get out? Oh no, come on. There we go. So had I done this the right way, I would have put the vinyl on before. Anyway, let's do the tree. At least the tree, I've just got to randomly place my little stars, apart from this one at the top. But oh, that's good, isn't it? And here I was thinking we were going to get a lovely shot of a nice satisfying reveal. Let's not bother with doing that. Let's try from the other end. There we are. That's a bit more like what I was expecting to happen. Never had this before. I wonder if it's something about this holographic vinyl. It's not as sticky. It's not as high quality because I accidentally bought off-brand. Is that it? Oh, we did it. Okay. Weed out these bits. Okay. Like centre that line, and then through there like that. Oh no, I'm still on the wonk. Oh well, we make like this. I'm not really that bothered if they're off centre. Would have been nice to practice that just for the sake of like becoming a better Cricut maker or whatever. But oh.
I actually lined it up really well. I don't think I could do that again. I could not do it again. The second one was much harder. Feel free to leave me constructive criticism in the comments. you can see how that one's not as straight. But I don't think it really matters. I still think they look really cool. Like that. So with these done, I think I'm gonna return to the thing that started all of this anyway, which is the logos for the coffee pots. I've got my white vinyl. While I was waiting for this to arrive, I looked back at the footage and I actually think they're too big. I think they're going to be really difficult to position because the coffee pots have like a little lip underneath the lid that I hadn't really realised. So I think they just need to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to rescale those in the Cricut design space and then we're good to go, I guess. Moment of truth. Impossible to see. I have no idea if you'll be able to see this, but it's come out dirty. I don't really know how that's happened. And there. Well, let's peel the waste away. Oh, it's incredibly difficult. And straight away, my U is... What the hell? I was able to save the U and the A in sugar, both of which were not playing ball. I could then focus on removing the excess vinyl. This was much harder in white than in the green practice version. I had to really concentrate. I cleaned the caddies thoroughly with an alcohol wipe to make sure they were free of any grime before I added the vinyls. I could then use the transfer tape to pick up the designs. Didn't take the middle of that A out. I was able to still remove the centre of that A. I knew I would miss something. It was so hard to see with the white vinyl before carefully positioning them using the lines on the transfer tape as a guide. It was difficult on a round object to get everything lined up and not rolling away. I did my best to get everything to lie flat with my scraper, but it wasn't very foolproof. The moment of truth. So close! Okay. I could not get that A to stick properly. The next two were a bit easier. Now I had the feel for it. I love it! Like that. You can do it. You can do it. Stay there, F. Oh, no. Go on. Yes! I did it! I'm so pleased with that.
So all we've got to do now is get these on the window. I actually love it. There isn't really a way that my camera can cope with both having these show up and me in frame that you can see me. So I'm sorry about that. And the hollow does not show up on camera the same way it does in real life. You've got that real rainbow holographic shift when you walk by. Oh, I'm so pleased with it. I think this was so successful, both the tea caddies and this. I'm really proud of myself because when I first bought the Cricut in the summer, I was so intimidated by it because it came with learning new software and I'd never done anything like it. So I'm really proud of myself for trying this new thing that I was actually really intimidated by and creating something that I'm really proud of. Now, obviously I didn't design like all the little ones, but this I designed. This I sort of designed in that I had to figure out how to add that star on the top and stuff and figuring out how to do it. And yeah, I cocked up with the lining it all up and everything. I just think I'm a little bit addicted to this. I can't wait to make something else. And I think the reason I bought the Cricut really was to help me cut fabric. And I have so many ideas now for ways that I can make this work. For me, it's opened up a whole world of possibilities for me. I'm really excited. I will have to mention here that these machines, they are very expensive and I would not have been able to afford to buy mine without the support of my Ko-fi members. So I have a Ko-fi page and there is a group of people that pay me monthly and they get to sort of choose their own rate and they get little behind the scenes snippets and early access to videos and things like that. So they seem to think it's worth it. And I'm incredibly grateful to them because I really truly could not have made this video without them. So if you're interested in becoming a Ko-fi member, there is always a link in the description below. I don't promote it very often because I don't want to be, I never expect it. Let's put it that way. Like it's a cool bonus for me and it's amazing. And it means that I can afford to do things I wouldn't otherwise be able to do, which means that the content here is more exciting and interesting for everybody. So you should also be grateful to my Ko-fi members too. But there is never any pressure to participate or join in any way, shape or form. I will always be here for you on YouTube, free of charge, so long as you're willing to sit through the adverts. Anyway, thank you. Thank you to my Ko-fi members. Thank you to you for watching this. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.